About 3 months ago, at our Vilas County meeting, we had a candidate that traveled hours to get up there, and I think we had 9 people, and I was so embarrassed. So I'm glad that Dave Westlake is back here, but I don't, there he is, okay. Dave is a small businessman from the southern part of the state, and he's running for U.S. Senate in opposition to Russ Feingold. So welcome, Dave.
Thank you, Jim. I am from what we call the Deep South when you're up here. So I feel obligated to throw in a howdy and a y'all. Just to kind of break the ice. This is a great turnout. I'm kind of expecting at any moment a tea party is going to erupt. We're going to demand our liberty back. Where do you start in times like these? We've got record unemployment. We've got people probably in all of our neighborhoods, friends, family members, people we know, people we love, people we trust, losing their homes, losing their jobs, having their lives turned upside down. How do we just call that a bad economy? That's ruining people's lives. We've got politicians who are supposed to represent us. They're voting against our will. They're not representing who we are, what we stand for, what we want. They're not following the most basic of basic rules, and that is to listen to the people who sent them to Washington. And then they want to be reelected. How do we call that just a constitutional crisis? We've got issues, there's no doubt. There's problems going on, we've got challenges in this country right now. But none of them are so big that we can't overcome them. Right? The problems we face today are not due to a lack of solutions. Sorry, Scott, I'm going to step in your nose. I'll sit on your lap. The problems we face today are not because of a lack of solutions. We've got solutions everywhere. Every candidate's got solutions posted on the website. What we have right now is a lack of leadership. So solutions are not the problem. A lack, an absence of leadership is. Now, 20 years ago, you all sent me to West Point. You sent me there so that I would learn how to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I took an oath twice to do that. Once as a cadet, once as a commissioned officer. And in those 4 years, I walked the same halls as Douglas MacArthur. I sat in the same rooms and walked the same detention area as George Patton. I ate in the same mess hall as Dwight Eisenhower. You cannot go through 4 years of that without taking the motto of West Point, duty, honor, and country, and having it transform you. You can't spend 4 years there and not leave with that being a duty motivator that's no more separable from you than your own DNA. It's not something you can turn on and off. When you take the oath to support and defend the Constitution, that's a lifelong commitment. Whether you're in Congress, or in the United States Army, or any other branch of service, it's a lifelong commitment. So when you see things like what's going on in Washington right now, whether it be a bad economy, whether it be government growing at an excess rate so they can tax us more because of something called global warming, a man-made myth, you pick your vice in Washington. When you see that go on, and you've taken that oath, it's not an option to sit back and let it happen. It's not an option to sit back and watch your neighbors suffer. It's not an option for me to sit back and watch any of you have problems because of something that's out of your control. It's time to stand up and fight for that. Now, the great thing about being a conservative, the great thing about everyone in this room right now, is that, as JB said before, we believe in people. The entitlements that we believe in are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And those entitlements don't come from any government bureaucracy or anybody in Washington. They're granted to us by our Maker, and they're guaranteed in the Constitution. And as conservatives, when we face challenging times like this, always remember that we're still in one nation under God. And all these times do is remind us what's really important in our lives. You take away jobs, take away possessions, take away things that we've been conditioned to think are important. And truly the only important things are our lives and our families. As conservatives, remember that we're still in the land of the free and the home of the brave. And times like this just build character. As conservatives, always remember that we still live in the shining city on the hill. And at times like this, it's just the last few hours of darkness before a new dawn breaks over the horizon. The sun shines on our face again, and this is once again the greatest country in the world. Now, Jim said that I made a long drive up here before to meet with 9 people, and it was well worth the time. We're going across the state, living room by living room by living room by living room, meeting with people in groups a little bit larger than 9, but small groups nonetheless, because we recognize that when you look for leaders in Washington, when you're not focused on just being worried about solutions, when you look for leaders, you need to know the person behind the solutions. You need to know the person you want to send to Washington. You need to know there's a little bit of you in that person who's standing up and fighting for you on the floor of the U.S. Senate. I want to get to every single one of your living rooms. I want to talk to each one of you personally. I've got a shirt over there at our table under that very inconspicuous orange sign. That shirt is my written contract with you. We've got people all over the state of Wisconsin signing shirts like that. That shirt is going to come to the floor of the U.S. Senate with me. I'm going to look at that shirt and I'm going to know exactly who I work for. It's not some special interest. It's not some other member of the U.S. Senate. It's no big money donor. It's you. So before you all leave tonight, please sign that shirt. I'm going to take that with me to the floor of the U.S. Senate. Thank you very much for your time. I am Dave Westlake. I want to be here.